It's a great honor to be here at this very momentous occasion as we inaugurate BAPS Swaminarayan Research Institute. And it's a especially joyous occasion because we're doing this in the presence of someone who has been acclaimed as one of the greatest philosophers and thinkers of our time, Mahamahopadhyay Swami Bhadreshdas Ji.
Everything, as always, when I have come here has been thought of. Every need anticipated, and excellence has been combined with incredible friendliness and deep spirituality. I was given just a taste of what His Holiness Pramukh Swami Maharaj stood for and achieved in his lifetime, and what His Holiness Mahant Swami Maharaj expands and develops through his great good works, all following the teachings of Bhagwan Swaminarayan. Research and teaching based on research, if they are themselves based on true and compassionate mastery, can make a difference in the world. The new research institute that we inaugurate today will show that, I have no doubt at all. I can think of no better way to conclude this vote of thanks and deep respect than to quote the words of His Holiness Mahant Swami Maharaj as they have been rendered into beautiful Sanskrit by none other than Bhadreshdas Swami himself. Aikyam mitha suhrad bhavo, maitri karunyam evacha, sahana shilata sneha, sarva janeshu vardatham. May mutual unity, suhrad bhav, friendship, compassion, tolerance and love flourish among all people.
Param Pujya Mahant Sai Maharaj, he has inspired this BAPS Swaminarayan Research Institute through its rigorous teaching of Sanskrit, classical Vedic literature, and the beliefs, the values, and the practices of Sanatan Hindu Dharma, all in a traditional Gurukul style. This institute will strive to foster social harmony, to encourage interfaith dialogue, public engagement, and academic discourse, as it generates opportunities for the highest level of value-based education and research along with creative expression.
બાપા હવે અમે આપને વિનંતી કરીએ છીએ કે આપના સંકલ્પ પ્રમાણે અક્ષર પુરુષોત્તમ મહારાજ આપની સાથે વિરાજમાન છે, તો એમની ઉપસ્થિતિની અંદર લંડનની અંદર જે પ્રથમ ભારતની બહાર અખિલ સ્વામિનારાયણ સંપ્રદાયમાં સર્વપ્રથમ વખત જો કોઈ શોધ કેન્દ્ર એટલે કે રિસર્ચ ઇન્સ્ટિટ્યૂટની સ્થાપના થતી હોય એ લંડનમાં થાય છે, અને આપણા ગુરુ હરિ મહંત સ્વામી મહારાજ એની સ્થાપના કરી રહ્યા છે. બાપાને આપણે વિનંતી કરીએ કે હવે તેઓ દીપ પ્રગટાવી આ રિસર્ચ ઇન્સ્ટિટ્યૂટનું ઉદ્ઘાટન કરે.
અતિ ઉમંગ હતો આ રિસર્ચ. એ તો આપણે ગોઠવ્યું, પણ એમના મનમાં હતું કે બાળકો, યુવકો બધા સંસ્કૃત ભણે, સંસ્કૃતમાં ચર્ચા કરે, સંસ્કૃતમાં આપ લે કરે અને સંસ્કૃત બોલે. તો આ અત્યારે આ ઇન્સ્ટિટ્યૂટ, રિસર્ચ ઇન્સ્ટિટ્યૂટ દ્વારા આપણે આ બધું કામ થઈ રહ્યું છે અને થશે. અને પછી આપણા ભાષ્યોનો અભ્યાસ કરે. તમને અત્યારે બધું અવનવું લાગશે, પણ એવું થશે. આપણા ભાષ્યો એમાં અભ્યાસ કરે, ચર્ચા વિચારણા કરશે અને સંસ્કૃતમય વાતાવરણ ઊભું થશે. બીજી સંસ્થાઓ પણ અહીં હાજર છે અને એ પણ સંપ સર્કલ આપણે એક સંપ સર્કલ મોટું થતું જાય એટલે બધા હિન્દુઓ ભેગા થાય અને આ પોતાના ગ્રંથો અભ્યાસ કરે અને બધી આપણે ચર્ચા વિચારણા કરે અને એ રીતે સર્કલ મોટું થતું જાય.
अद्य आनन्दस्य अवसरः यत् लण्डननगरे BAPS स्वामिनारायण शोधसंस्थानस्य स्थापना जाता. अस्मिन् शोधसंस्थाने वयं सर्वे मिलित्वा संस्कृतस्य अभ्यासं कुर्मः. अस्मिन् शोधसंस्थाने वयं सर्वे मिलित्वा गुरुकुलपद्धत्या शास्त्राणाम् अभ्यासं कुर्मः.
It's wonderful to see a community engaged with its scholastic traditions, engaged with its intellectual activities, and managing to do it in a multi-generational fashion on a Sunday morning in northwest London. So incredible to see those different sort of lines of tradition and experience coming together in one space at one time, and being privileged enough to come along and see it, to be part of it. So it was an absolutely wonderful experience. I think it can bring an enormous number of things. So firstly, I think it can bring the Sanskrit knowledge systems into an ever deeper connection and engagement. I mean, there is already engagement, but the research centre can formalise that, provide structure, provide pathways, and provide the means for particularly young people, but the entire community to engage with Sanskrit knowledge. These skills are hard won. You know, I know, anyone who's studied Sanskrit knows it doesn't come easily, but it's extraordinarily satisfying. What it takes is time, space, and support, and that support needs to be as much emotional as practical. And that's what I think the Institute can bring, a kind of safe, open, supportive space for the development of Sanskrit knowledge and awareness of Sanskrit intellectual traditions. Secondly, it's connecting those traditions ever more fruitfully to the writings of Bhagavan Swaminarayan. So the side of that there where the community is looking at the long history of Sanskritic literature, Sanskrit knowledge systems, and finding ever new ways to connect that with their Swamis, with their primary texts. And I think that's extraordinary. On top of that, just to go on thirdly, I think it's that connection between religion and everyday life, where people can begin to think about how and what it means to engage with these knowledge systems in your day-to-day living, how you internalise them. There is the way in which this connects, or at least connects to research in an academic sense. So, I'm here today, but extraordinarily honoured, privileged. It's exciting to be here. But I'm hoping that what we'll see is a fruitful dialogue with scholars across the UK, across Europe, in which what you're doing here, which doesn't need to change in the light of what academics necessarily do in UK universities or European universities, but a kind of dialogue where we're each exploring what we do, how we do it, and what new and interesting things we can do together.
I'm over the moon to hear about the inauguration of the Research Institute today in UK and Europe. It's something that I've really been kind of wanting to happen here in London for a long time, in particular because I'm very interested in learning more about our scriptures, our upasana, our philosophy, and I believe that through this Research Institute I'll be able to do that at a much fundamental level. I've always been interested in learning Sanskrit, and I'm kind of excited at the opportunity of being able to do that. And yes, just being able to kind of get a deeper appreciation of our scriptures at a sort of tattvic level.
I was sat in the Sabha where the BAPS Research Institute was launched, and I'm really excited about the opportunity that it's going to give me and countless others to learn about our faith and to learn about my culture, but crucially to do it in an authentic way, because I'll get to understand, our scriptures, our shastras in the language that they were originally written. So I'm really excited about the opportunity that that's going to provide.
At a young age, I've always loved storytelling and public speaking. But I'm really excited for this institution, as I'll get to present to my friends about my culture, religion and ethics in Sanskrit.
And I am happy about this institute because after memorizing the Satsang Diksha, I became more interested in Sanskrit, and now because of this institute, I have an opportunity to dive deeper and learn the meanings of all the shlokas in the Satsang Diksha.
Growing up, I've always been quite fond in our classical Indian arts, and I was quite excited by the fact that this research institute is going to help me to understand and take a deeper dive into our philosophy, our heritage, and understand the deeper meaning behind our Indian roots and also our Indian classical arts as well.
I love hearing spiritual discourses, but I can't understand it sometimes. So I'm excited about this institution so I can learn Sanskrit and my religion and spirituality.
As part of my degree, I learnt about the world's oldest language, Sanskrit, and I'm really excited to join this research institute and learn more about how Sanskrit has contributed so much to the world's languages.
I work in finance, and obviously in my workplace we have a real wide range of cultures and people that come together, and I think being part of this institute, learning more about the Aksharapurushottam Gnan, it's really going to help me to better engage with my colleagues and really explain what we believe in.
I'm very excited to connect to the BAPS Research Institute. For me, in my formal education, I didn't really get the chance to learn Sanskrit or learn my philosophy on a deeper level, so I'm very excited to be able to do that, and especially for me to be able to learn my shastras and my scriptures on a much deeper level.
From a young age, I've liked listening to kirtans and singing. Through this institute, I'm really excited to learn to sing in Sanskrit.
We're very fortunate that these texts and these languages will be taught through experts in India. We have seen some of the great work that's happened from the BAPS Swaminarayan Research Institute in New Delhi, and their courses, their cultural programs have been received very, very well. So when we have traditional experts from India teaching these texts, teaching Sanskrit in a traditional Gurukul style to children and youths in London or other parts of the UK, that's something to be very excited about and something very promising for the future of scholarship and training in classical Indian languages and texts. So we're very grateful for this opportunity. We are thankful to the young students who have provided this impetus in many ways to start this institute. And above all, we're extremely grateful to His Holiness Mahant Singh Maharaj for providing this vision and imploring us to provide a more systematic approach for this public education program.
ऐसा एक अद्भुत शोध केंद्र यहाँ स्थापित किया गया, आज ही उसका उद्घाटन हुआ। इसके साथ साथ हमारे भारतीयों को, जो हमारे प्यारे भाई बहन यहाँ रहते हैं, उन लोगों को अन्य धर्म के साथ कैसे संवाद किया जाए और जिस देश में हम रहते हैं उस देश में ठीक ढंग से हम कैसे रह सकें। एक वैश्विक समरसता, एक वैश्विक संवादिता को हम कैसे सिद्ध कर सकें और एक मैत्रीपूर्ण व्यवहार कैसा हम सब लोगों के साथ कर सकें। परस्पर हम वार्तालाप करते रहें, मिलते रहें, शोध कार्य करते रहें, पढ़ते रहें। अब इस शोध केंद्र की विशेषता यह रहेगी कि सब भारतीय साथ में मिलकर इसमें प्रगति करेंगे और शोध कार्य करेंगे। भाषाएं पढ़ाई जाएगी, हमारी भारत की मूलभूत भाषाएं, न केवल संस्कृत की बात है, यहाँ मराठी भी पढ़ाई जाएगी, हिंदी पढ़ाई जाएगी, गुजराती कन्नड़ पढ़ाई जाएगी, पंजाबी पढ़ाई जाएगी। सब साथ में मिलकर अपनी मातृभाषाओं को पढ़ेंगे, संस्कृत भाषा को पढ़ेंगे, शास्त्रों को पढ़ेंगे, विभिन्न प्रकार के तत्वज्ञानों का जो उद्भव भारत में हुआ उन तत्व ज्ञानों को पढ़ेंगे। षट दर्शन का यहाँ अभ्यास होगा, विश्व के धर्मों का भी अभ्यास होगा। ऐसा एक सर्वांगीण अभ्यासक्रम को अपने आप में समाहित करता हुआ शोध केंद्र, उसकी आज अद्भुत स्थापना हुई। उसका गर्व है, आनंद है।